Your life is completely dictated by what you think life is. Like, as a boy, what you think a man is what you think you have to become. Same thing with a woman, same thing with a white man, same thing with a black man, right? If you're a black boy, you think you have to grow up into a black man. And then you gain an idea of what you think that even means. What does it mean to be a black man, right? This is why I try to remove myself from those labels, those ideas, because I know once you label yourself as one of these ideas, you're stuck being that idea. So, like, it's really good to be able to let go of ideas. It's like, okay, you can hold an idea for a little bit. If that's what you think is real, that's great. But if you walk into a better idea, have enough humility and drop the ego to be able to pick up the new idea. Like, in order to change, it requires you to drop your ego and accept that some of the things you're holding are no longer serving you. So, like, if it's no longer serving you to think a certain thought, it's okay to let it go. But so many people, they get so attached to being who they are. Like, we're too attached to wanting to be right instead of attached to what's working. Like, what is actually working in our life? What's working for you? Do you have enough humility to admit what's not working for you? Because if you can admit that what you're doing is not working, then you can start changing some of the things you're doing to start adding in things that will start working for you. But, like, this is why I don't believe in. Now, I know I was a kid once, and now I'm a grown man. And there was an in between where, like, I thought I was grown because I was in my 20s, but I didn't really become grown until I was 30. Like, I didn't feel like a man until I was about 30. Now, I'm 30 now, but, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I get that there's a thing as that, but I don't really believe in being grown. I think when someone walks up to you and says, like, when I was in my 20s and these people were like in their 40s, they're like, oh, you're just a kid still, you'll understand when you get older. Like, that's not the grown man saying that. That's just the ego. That's someone's ego thinking that they're grown. Because in my head, I believe that we are just souls inside of a body. So, because I truly believe that, life has a certain thing for me. It looks a certain way. It's so hot. But, like, life will look different if you look at life differently. Like, if you look at life in a certain way, life becomes that certain thing. And it sounds so fairy tale like or so whatever, corny, but it's so real that Terence McKenna was right that the world is made of language. I used to think like a thug, so then I lived life like a thug. Like, once I started changing my thinking, I started changing myself. But you will never be a different person if you're thinking the same things. You can move to a new country, but if you're still looking at life through those same old perspectives, that new country will begin to start looking like the old country right? It'll begin to start looking like what you've always been looking at, because you're not looking at the world. You're looking at the world through your perspective. So, like, what is your perspective on the world? What do you think a man is, right? Like, it's not about becoming a black man, and it's not about becoming a woman. What type of woman do you want to be? What type of man do you want to be? Like, what type of person do you want to be? What type of things do you want to do? What type of feelings do you want to feel? Once you start to become consciously aware of these things and start making decisions, you become a conscious man or a conscious woman, because you're consciously aware that your thoughts are creating your reality, that the way you look at things is what's causing them to look the way they do. If you only look at the negative, all you'll see is the negative. If you only look at the positive, all you'll see is the positive. To me, I think it's about the balance. And I'm just living life through my own ideas, right? And if these ideas were not working, I would have whatever to drop them and be like, okay, I got to figure out what can work. Because I've been on this journey of growth, but that's because I personally look at life like it's a journey. Not necessarily the hero's journey. Now, I do like that idea, but I just look at it like from birth till death, you're on a journey. You're a spirit, a soul that's inside of a body that's on a journey. And, like, it's up to you what that journey is. And it's like, if you don't gain control of your mind, someone else is telling you what that journey is. So, like, I guess I'm just making this video because, like, if you gain control of your mind, you can then start to gain control of reality, your reality, because your thoughts create your reality. Together, we are co-creating this whole reality, but, like, it's up to you to start creating your own reality. Like, you could be 50 years old and you're like, oh, I've just been following the crowd the whole time. And it's like, okay. And then you could start following your soul. You can be 50 and be like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get myself in shape. I'm going to start going on jogs and hikes. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start working on myself to get myself stronger. I seen this video about an eagle, right? How an eagle will be like 30 years old, right? I think it said 30. And then an eagle will start, its beak will start to get like dim, like it won't be as sharp. Its feathers will be all fucked up and wings off, whatever. So then it goes to a place where it breaks its beak off and its beak then regrows. Then it goes through, when it regrows, it then plucks all of its feathers and all of its things, the nail, it's called nails, whatever. When everything grows back, the eagle is then able to live another 30 years. So it's like the eagle goes into a place of hibernation, and they call it the rebirth. And it's like, I feel like I just went through that. And me going through that rebirth, it reminded me that it's not just a physical rebirth. It was a whole mental rebirth of, instead of plucking feathers off of me, I had to pluck words out of my head. I removed the N-word from my head, so I stopped saying the N-word. I stopped talking the way I did. I stopped just removing certain words and then replacing them with better words, and removing bad habits and replacing them with good habits. And it's like, it took me so much time to do that. But now that I've done that, I'm like, I know it's possible because I did it, right? Like, my growth was only possible because I tried this shit out and was like, well, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it doesn't, I know it doesn't work, because I've tried a bunch of shit that did not work. But I've also tried a bunch of shit that does work. So, like, yeah.